Hi everyone, welcome. So today I'm crocheting, and this is a part of a project that I'm doing. I'm volunteering with one place over here. They're called it's a humanitarian center. So it was part of one of my projects that I was doing, and I decided to just go on with them. So they recently sent a bunch of humanitarian stuff, hygiene kits to Ukraine to help with the war. So I learned how to crochet about a week ago, and my job is to do this. This is supposed to be washcloth, and I'm doing this to support. The other things they do, they give food, money, um, hygiene kits. That's a lot, and then toys for kids, sleep systems. They make bed sheets, they make blankets, and a bunch of stuff. And these are people who have extra time to spend to volunteer to do extra stuff. So while I'm spending this time doing this, let's talk about something very, very important. I mean, most of the things we talk about are important, but and as I took my time to go through some notes to put it down. And this video is going to be a part of a cascade of videos or lessons. It's going to be about 8 of them. And I'm drawing this lesson from a psychologist called Erickson. Now, Erickson um, he talks about the stages of human development. And I'm going to talk about those stages and then um, draw or refer them to what I was talking about a few weeks ago about how parents because of the way they raise children have failed the system. So our system is really failed because of how some of us or some people were raised. So we're going to talk about all of them and see how we go. Okay, because that time I was talking about the problem itself, but what about the solution? So I went to dig some information, and now we have some solutions. So let's talk about solution. So this first video is pardon me, I might not keep um, eye contact, but we can still talk. So this first video is going to be about trust versus mistrust. This is the first stage of Erickson's developmental stages, and all the developmental stages have time to it or age that they really fall into. So this is the first stage, and it's about zero. So the first day the baby is born till um, between 12 to 18 months. So this is a pretty fresh age for a baby. And most people who are wanting to have children are really terrified of having babies because of this age, because it's a very tender age where children need a lot of attention. So talk about some issues in adulthood that are really tied to this age. And Erickson names this age trust versus mistrust because a child is seen as a stranger in your house or a visitor. And every time a stranger comes to your house, the first thing they think about is, can I trust this person or not? That's the first thing everyone think about when we go to someone's place. So you've received a stranger in your house, and then you want to make them feel at home. Now for children, there are three things that children really depend on to judge if they really feel safe, they can trust you and their surroundings or not. First thing is food all the time. The second thing is affection, and the third thing is comfort. So children, the only way they can communicate with their parents or guardians or adults around them is through crying. And some people find this very annoying or whatever you may take it, like hard to accept, how to deal with, because crying doesn't say anything. It doesn't really explain a lot. So some people cannot really handle this stage. But that's the only way they can express themselves because they cannot talk when they feel uncomfortable, when they feel pain. This is how they communicate with the world. So this is where trust or mistrust is actually developed. So all the ages that I'll be going through, and the things that go on are those are the ages that they are the start of this social what do you call it, attribute, I would say. So trust or mistrust can be really developed when a baby is really, really young. And what impact does this have in a society? Now, if a child can trust their parents, they can transfer that trust to other people. They can transfer the trust to siblings, grandparents, parents, and even strangers. Now, if a child doesn't have trust, it's the same way, it snowballs into other places. So most of the time, if trust is not developed and maintained, hi Betty, welcome. So today I'm just talking about Erickson's theory. In the first stage is trust versus mistrust. Now, if a child doesn't have or develop any trust in their parents, and these are the things that they need to develop trust at this age, between 0 to 12 months or 18 months, they need food. They should never lack food. They need affection and they need comfort. So anything that will keep them comfortable, they need all the affection, all the hugs, all the kisses, all the, playing with them. They develop trust through all this. Now, if they don't have trust and it continues, and they don't have trust in their old ages or when they grow a little bit older, now the trust goes into their friendship, their workplaces, their relationships, and even to their children. And that's why we have trust issues in our system. Now that's where it comes from. It starts very, very early. So yeah, children who don't develop trust because they don't get the food they want, some mothers or some parents keep their children hungry for a long time. Some people don't want to touch the children. So if you compare most kids that have lived in shelters or from one home to the other, they have trust issues, and then it goes into their family. Into their relationships. Now, if they don't get any comfort, if they cry and they don't get anyone to come comfort them, they tend to live on their own. They feel like they're one person living on their own, and this is also another problem. Okay, so yeah. Uh, thank you. Thank you, Betty. Yeah, I know we've been here since day one, and I appreciate all your comments. Um, the thing is, I didn't come here to make fake or gossip content like most people do because that's what is trending in our day. People like to talk about things, talk about people in a way that everyone is curious. They want to know about what is going on in this celebrity's life or this person's life. Oh, this person and the other person have a beef. They're arguing. They're insulting each other, and everyone will just you know storm in there to listen. It's about time we create some good content because all of the people who go around looking for all this gossip don't even have enough money to pay for um, airtime. So I'm like, "Well, we need some good content. At least if I'm watching someone's video, it better be worth my time." So um, I could do the mainstream gossip thing or go get a bunch of videos and maybe comment on them, or mock a bunch of people on social media, but that is not my thing. And I'm glad you're here. You're one of the pioneers of this page, and I really appreciate you. So yeah, thank you, Betty. So let's start from the early age of a child, let us build trust first. And if a child misses trust in their early ages, it is a disaster in their old ages for their children, for their spouses, for their co-workers. They don't trust anyone. So there are some bosses that want to work on their own. Some people just want to be on their own, work on their own, mess up, and they don't care because they have trust issues, because their parents did not give them the trust. Um, they don't trust anyone. They don't trust teachers. They don't trust doctors. They don't trust scientists or pastors or whatever. Whoever we need to trust, give trust, our trust to, so that they can run the system. We don't trust them. So a lot of these conspiracy theories, um, it's most of them are just coming from trust issues. You have the evidence right there staring at you, but because some people have had bad experiences with their parents and guardians, they have trust issues. If you don't want your child to have trust issues later in their days, you better build trust. And it starts very, very early in their ages. As soon as they're born till 12 months, that's when you can really solidify it. Because after that time, there's another stage that Erickson talks about, and there are other things that you also want to develop. You can also start early, but trust is built right when a child is very young. And I'm not saying that you cannot build trust um, in their old ages, but I'm saying that this is the time for you to start. So, yeah, today I just came to talk about trust versus mistrust. The next video is going to be about another time in our lives where when we are growing and another developmental stage, and this will be from 1 year to 3 years. And what really happens, how we can really shape the future based on the information we have today. If you know what you should do to a child, they will grow up to become exactly what you want them to be. As I said in the other video, that some parents are really satisfied with how their children have turned out to be because they really hammered on certain things that they didn't even know. For me, when I was growing up and I didn't even know this theory, one thing that I wanted to stress on was that a child will never ever interfere with adults talking on their own. Like when people are doing their thing, you will not interfere. And for me, that was my thing. So I stressed on it. My child will not interfere with other people, will not, you know, in other and be gossip in other people's conversations. Because I used to have siblings who would just, you know, put their mouth in adult conversation, especially when they're talking about adult stuff, and the children will just put their mouth in there. You have visitors, and your child will just disgrace you because they feel like they can talk to anyone, anyhow, whenever they want. And that was my thing. And I realized, oh, there's actually a stage in their life where you can curb that when they start talking, and we're going to learn all that within the next few days. But yeah, um, if you're a guardian, if you're a sibling, an older sibling, if you're a parent, you know, if even if you're a teacher, this is the time to build trust. Don't miss their meal time. Give them food all the time that they need it. Don't overfeed children like some people do. Crying is okay. Children cry to express themselves. It's okay. There's one thing that you will never ever do as a parent, as a guardian. Never ever do this. Never shake a baby. Okay. Don't ever shake a baby because it is there's a thin line of shaking a baby when a baby cries for a long time. They know you cannot console them. They can't tell you what it is, and then you pick them up and you're like, what is your problem? Most people do that. Don't ever do that because children's brain, their head is not fully developed. So when you shake it, everything shakes and it can cause a big time damage. So yeah, that's what I have for you today. Thank you all for your support. And Okay, uncharted territory. Great, thank you. So yeah, I will not make this long. 15 minutes is enough for a little lesson. Trust versus mistrust. If someone is having trust issues, you know where it started. This is where, and you can build trust from this. Even when they are old, if they miss this timeline, we can still build trust in people. We need trust in our society. We need to build trust. So thank you. This is Walking the Talk. Please like and follow this page because there's more to come. All right. So I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Bye, Betty.